Agriculture crop protection. Crop protection. This aims at protecting crops from weed pests and diseases. Weed and their control. Definition. A weed is a plant which grows in a place where it is not wanted. It is also an unwanted plant in the garden, or it is a plant whose usefulness has not been discovered. Advantages of weeds. Some weeds are used as vegetables for food in different areas, e.g. black nightshade, spider weed, pigweed. Some weeds are used as medicine, e.g. blackjack used for dressing fresh wounds. Weeds are used as feeds for livestock, e.g. elephant grass. Some help in controlling soil erosion by covering the soil surface, e.g. couch grass. Some are used as building materials, e.g. thatch grass, spear grass. Some weeds are leguminous, hence fix nitrogen to the soil, e.g. silverleaf, Desmodium glycine, etc. They provide local materials for art and craft industry. Agriculture crop protection. They lower the quality of farm produce, e.g. blackjack seeds. Contaminate cotton lint, wild onions contaminate milk. All terrestrial weeds compete with crops for nutrients, water, light and space. They grow among pastures, hence reducing their palatability. Aquatic weeds block waterways and irrigation channels, making irrigation difficult, e.g. water hyacinth. The control of weeds through spraying using herbicides increases the cost of production. Weeds harbor pests and diseases of crops during the season. Weeds reduce the value of land, e.g. lantana. They are parasites to crops, e.g. Striga hermantheca spp in cotton. Under heavy infestation of crops by weeds, crops have a poor distribution and formation of roots. Aquatic weeds reduce the amount of oxygen available for respiration of animals, e.g. fish and other aquatic organisms. Reasons why weeds are more successful than field crops. Agriculture crop protection. Roman 3. They are highly resistant to pests and diseases that attack crops. E.g. most weeds are less palatable to pests. Roman 4. They grow in all types of soils and can easily survive on few nutrients, e.g. speargrass, oxalis, nutgrass. Some weeds are allelopathic, i.e. they produce substances that make plants difficult to grow around them, a condition called allelopathy. Roman 6. Most weeds have perinating organs which are used to produce new plants, e.g. rhizomes for spear grass, bulbils for oxalis. Roman 7. They have different dispersal mechanisms which are effective, e.g. self-explosive mechanisms, hard seed coats, presence of hooks on their seeds. Roman 8. They are resistant to harsh conditions, i.e. ability to remain dormant in the dry season and sprout out as soon as rain season starts, e.g. couch grass and spear grass. Classification of weeds. Weeds can be classified according to a lifespan. Agriculture crop protection. Roman 3. Perennial weeds. These complete their life cycle in more than 2 seasons or years to reproduce themselves and grow continuously, e.g. couch grass, lantana. B. Habitat. This is based on the place where the weeds are found growing, i.e. Aquatic weeds. These weeds grow in water, e.g. Nile cabbage, water, hyacinth. Roman 2. Terrestrial weeds. These grow on land, e.g. couch grass, elephant grass, and most weeds fall in this category. See morphology / structural appearance. It is done basing on the physical structural appearance of the plant, e.g. Dicotyledonous weeds. These have seeds with 2 cotyledons, e.g. legume weeds like Central, Desmodium. Roman 2. Monocotyledonous weeds. These have 1 cotyledon in their seeds, e.g. grasses, Kenny grass. D. Botanical classification / biological. This is done based on flowering weed plants. These weeds produce flowers, e.g. McDonald's. Agriculture crop protection. These weeds do not produce flowers and seeds but have vegetative part, e.g. wandering Jew. Toxic nature. These include poisonous weeds. These include all poisonous weed plants, e.g. sodom apple, thorn apple, lantana. Roman 2. Non-poisonous weeds. These include the rest of the weeds that are not poisonous and useful in nature. Weed control methods. Weed control methods include cultural control methods, mechanical control methods, biological control methods, chemical control methods, legislative / quarantine, integrated weed management, cultural weed control methods. Agriculture crop protection. Roman 2. Proper spacing. Well-spaced crops quickly cover up the ground with their leaves and smoother weeds than weeds that manage to grow remain fibble with yellow leaves. Roman 3. Crop rotation. This controls parasitic weeds by denying them nutrients and breaking their life cycle. Roman 4. Use of clean planting materials. This prevents introduction of weed seeds into the field. They control burning. This will kill both weeds and their seeds if the fire is hot enough. Roman 6. Flooding. Weeds are completely submerged and killed by suffocation, e.g. weeds in paddy rice. Roman 7. Mulching. Mulches convert the weeds and seeds, making them unable to germinate due to lack of light, i.e. smoother. Roman 8. Use of trap crops. These attract numerous weed plants and then are destroyed with weeds. Roman 9. Controlled grazing. If the number of animals grazing on a piece of land is great, then that it can support the animals graze on species to outcompete the palatable ones. Agriculture crop protection. Mechanical weed control methods. This involves use of farm tools and implements to control weeds, e.g. hand hoeing, slashing, harrowing, deep cultivation. Advantages of mechanical weed control. It does not pollute the environment. It is toxic to crops like chemicals. It requires no special skills. Disadvantages of mechanical weed control. It may destroy soil structure. It's not easily done to plants with thorns, e.g. pineapples, sisal, etc. It may cause soil erosion. It may be laborious. Biological weed control. This involves use of living organisms to control weeds. Examples of biological weed control agents. Agriculture crop protection. MB, the enemy of a weed, either kills the weed or suppresses its growth. Advantages of biological weed control. Method is easy to carry out. Method is cheap as far as the farmer's situation is concerned. Method does not pollute the environment. Disadvantages of biological weed control. To find the best/right biological weed control agent is a long and slow process which ends up being an expensive venture. Biological weed control agents may attack crops after eradicating weeds. The agent may not be in large number to control weeds effectively, or it might take long to bring weeds under control. The biological agents do not effectively eradicate weeds, but maintain a certain population of weeds on which they can survive. Once the agent has been released to the garden, it might be very difficult to tell whether the agent is working or not. It requires a lot of research to come up with suitable biological agriculture crop protection. Categories of herbicides. They include contact herbicides / contact non-selective herbicides. They are herbicides which kill any plant they come in contact with. They are usually applied on leaves. They kill any plant they come in contact. Examples include glyphosate Roundup, Pyramoxone paraquat, Reglone Decat, Propanil, systemic/translocated herbicides. These are herbicides which kill the whole plant even if they got in contact with only the leaves. They are absorbed through the leaf stems, roots, and transported throughout the whole plant, killing it slowly. Examples include dalaponatrazine, 24D. Agriculture crop protection. Examples of selective herbicides: simazine lenurin, McPaw, MCPP, and B. It is possible for herbicides to be both selective and systemic at the same time. Examples: 24D, 245T, McPaw, MCPP. Advantages of chemical weed control. It is very effective and quick at killing weeds. It saves time as a large area of land can be effectively covered in a short period of time. Roots of crops cannot be damaged unlike a mechanical method. Herbicides eliminate drudgery of labor as in hand weeding. Soil structure is not destroyed when using chemicals as a case in mechanical weed control. Agriculture crop protection. Where the morphology of a crop limits hand weeding, e.g. weeding sugarcane, sisal, chemicals can be effectively used. It is cheaper on a large scale, lowering cost of production. Disadvantages of chemical weed control. It requires skilled labor, especially in determining their concentration and mixing raters. Chemicals pollute air and water at the farm. Non-selective chemicals may damage crops if used wrongly. Chemicals are poisonous to both man and livestock. Chemicals are expensive in terms of costs. Chemicals can kill useful organisms, e.g. the pollinators and predators, etc. Herbicide selectivity. This is the ability of herbicide to kill certain plants and leave others. Unaffected selectivity of herbicides depends on the following factors. Size of leaves. The larger the leaf, the more the herbicide will affect the leaf. Roman 2. Degree of wetting on the leaf. Agriculture crop protection. Roman 4. Timing of application. Old weeds are less affected by herbicides than young weeds. Stage of application, i.e., pre-emergent, post-emergent. The structure of the plant. Some plants have hairy leaves, others produce wax and oil. These hinder herbicides from penetrating weeds. Conditions for maximum effectiveness of herbicides. Herbicides should be mixed in proper concentration. Correct herbicide should be used for the intended weed. Do not spray when it's going to rain. Do not spray in a windy weather because chemicals will drift from the target weed to other plants. Ensure that you do not use or spray expired herbicides. Apply the herbicides at the correct stage of crop growth. Apply the herbicide at the correct stage of weed growth. Safety measures in the use of chemical for weed control. Safety precautions should be taken when handling herbicides. This is agriculture crop protection. When the nozzle sprayer gets blocked, one should not unlock it by sucking or blowing with the mouth. When spraying, the operator should face the direction that wind is blowing to, but not against wind. Empty containers should be buried in a deep pit. After spraying, the sprayer should be washed thoroughly with soap and water, rinsed and dried facing upside down. After spraying, protective clothing should be carefully removed and washed with soap and water. In case of accidental contact with the herbicide, the affected area should be washed with a lot of water and victims should be rushed to medical personnel. Unused chemicals must be kept in cool, dry place and out of reach of children. Assignment, field assignment. Identify an area with weeds. Obtain a sprayer and the herbicide any category. Follow precautions given, prepare and mix the herbicide. Properly apply the herbicide onto the weeds. Clean the equipment properly after spraying.